Hi, thank you for joining us here at ViewDo Labs. Today we'll be taking a closer look at ViewPoint Enterprise, our solution for Yammer Analytics and Governance through a sleek dashboard that you can see on the screen here. Our dashboard is available for any Yammer user in your network, so whether you're a verified admin, a network admin, or just any user, you'll be able to find the value in the solution. For starters, we focus on adoption, activity, and influential users and allow our users an easy way to toggle between a 30 and 90-day date range. We'll get deeper into the product and talk about how you can utilize custom date ranges as well. From the surface, or when you start your Yammer platform, you may be very interested in understanding the adoption of your platform itself and being able to see how many users and how many groups you actually have on your network. If you are working with single sign-on or a different type of automated process to create your users, this may be an expected number, but when you're looking at users creating their own profiles and activating Yammer on themselves, you're actually going to find a lot of value in the adoption, and these numbers will help you understand which projects have been successful through the process. You're also going to be able to dig deeper into adoption, and rather than just looking at an adoption trend that tends to be a bit flat after you've adopted the number of users that you've expected to join, you're going to be interested in engagement. And engagement allows us here at ViewDo Labs really focus on the level of activity that we're seeing across the network. Now, we had a huge spike in activity yesterday, which is why you see the increase in the trends here. But when you look at previous days, you're actually going to be able to see a better scope of how much activity you're getting over any period of time. For most of our users, this gives them a better understanding of which day of the week people are most active, what impact certain activities may have, maybe a monthly Yam Jam or a quarterly town hall meeting on Yammer, and really understanding what that impact will be for your network. As we discussed earlier, you also have the opportunity of digging into activity and influential users. So I'll start with the influential users. I may not have iterated before, but I am signed in as myself. I am looking at the platform as a non-verified admin, and here I'm going to be able to enter the platform and really truly understand how these users have been doing across the past 30, 90 days, or even a custom date range, which I know is very important to many of our customers. When looking at any of these influencers, you're not just seeing the level of influence that a user has by the number of posts that they've contributed to the platform, nor does this dashboard only represent the type of activity that a single person performs. Rather, when we look at any of these users, you're actually going to be able to understand their level of activity through the number of posts that they've performed, along with the reactional data, the attitudinal data, as some of our customers like to call it, of how many times the audience or your network has responded or liked the content that's out there on the network itself. This helps our clients to get a better understanding of not just the level of activity that any user may have, but truly the level of influence or the quality of their posts through the types of measures that they have around the actual posts and the actual content that they put out there. Now, you always have the option of filtering by a particular category if you're just interested in posts or replies or likes. You definitely have the opportunity of resorting your users by those metrics. But what we've found is very interesting for our clients is to be able to resort this data in the way of a grid and be able to maybe not see the visual aspect as we were looking at it earlier, but really being able to come deep down and understand not just how many posts they've performed, but what impact this really has on business. And for all of you, your business value may be somewhat different. You may be interested in understanding which managers have more of an impact for Yammer success in a team. You may be more interested in understanding if the department or the location or the practice in which an employee stands is affecting his or her relationships in Yammer. So you're actually going to be able to filter by any of these metrics really to better understand where these people stand. And if you do find a key player like Mike Alden, you're actually going to be able to formulate plans and identify these people as ambassadors or set up Yam Jams with different group trainings or corporate-wide trainings with these users. Identifying these people will also help you lessen the load at a centralized level and help you make these processes more decentralized. Doing this across multiple date ranges will also help you to understand if there are different key players or different departments that are key players at different times of year. You can upload up to 4 different filters for your network, and they can be completely customized for your users depending on the types of metadata that you'd like us to report against. So lots of key information here. And on top of that, the data exports that we provide will allow you to take this data and push it out to a CSV format so that you can then compile it with other pieces of data that you may be getting from other systems as well. All metadata that you've uploaded into the system will be incorporated into this data export as well. Now, for the user perspective, it's great to be able to identify who your key players are, who your influencers are, whether you're looking to identify those ambassadors or just really make sure people are on track. But as a team, we may want to also look at understanding the groups that are the most or least active as well. Understanding the level of activity across different groups is going to give us a better understanding of who's actually active. And if they are active, how are they being active? Is it just through posts? Is it really through collective post and like or share perspective? But really being able to get at this information is something that a user will have the aspect or the understanding to do as they're drilling deeper into the product. Going in, of course, from a Yammer perspective, we'll take a look and understand not only the most active, but the least active groups. And as a user, I can come in and I can take a look at all of the groups that are out there. You'll notice that some of my groups may seem as if they are private, which they are actually private groups. We do represent both public and private groups in our dashboard. And if I'm not an admin coming into the product, then the experience that I'll have will be one where the private group name is hidden, the icon is hidden, so that I don't really infringe on any data that should be kept private. If I instead were to sign in as an admin, a verified admin, like I have done here, I'm actually going to be able to drill in and really understand the user data against the network, including any of those private groups. And so here, the number 4 group I see is status. I also am able to see the icon associated with that group listed here. Now, with any of these groups, you have visibility of understanding exactly what takes place from a more detailed perspective as well. And this detailed perspective will bring up a trend very similar to that initial engagement trend line that we had seen. And the initial engagement trend line was a great way of understanding the network as a whole. This trend line gives us a detailed look at this group in particular, and understanding whether it's only active at certain time periods in a season, in a year, or being able to look at it more closely and see when exactly this group is most active. You will also be able to understand when this group was created, how many users there are, and if the creator is still part of your network, you'll also be able to see who created this group. Understanding also then the influencers across any of these groups has been very important, which is why we've incorporated influencers by group, understanding all of the user activity within this group, or being able to splice and dice this data by member and non-member activity. This added value gives you a better understanding of really understanding how people are interacting with these groups and whether joining all of the groups that are in the network will really be helpful to them or not. Now, some added pieces that people have access to as an admin include the capabilities of not just understanding which groups are out there that are the most or least active, but being able to use this data for the fullest potential and taking action against the data that you're finding. When you're looking at Yammer data in particular, you may say that you want to see private group data so that you can understand the full potential of these groups, and those groups that haven't shown much potential, as in they haven't had any posts or likes or shares within the past 90 days or even that custom date range that we were referring to, you can come in and choose to remove these groups. It may be that some of these groups have repurposed other groups to now be their home. Human Resources, for instance, has made Petri Dish their new home, and Petri Dish is now one of the most active groups within the network. With this capability, you're able to delete these groups immediately in bulk. And for those of you that have tried to delete groups one at a time, especially those networks that have sprawled out, have created many groups, this is an excellent way to get a handle on top of what groups are out there. As an admin, you're also going to have access to settings and managing the users that will have access to ViewPoint Enterprise. With the keywords as well, you have more actionability, and the keyword monitoring capabilities that we provide will allow you to set up keywords and push out these notifications to multiple email addresses. I've seen multiple requests from users that would like to send out these notifications to different email addresses, and when you're looking to do that, here you're able to not only set up those keywords, but when you do identify those keywords, you will be able to get additional context with the keyword itself, link to the position of the keyword, and actually take action there as well. So you will be able to understand, when these keywords have been identified, who wrote that conversation, and if you did need to delete the action right there, you would definitely be able to do so. And that's the benefit that you have of being an admin and having that governance and actionability at your fingertips. Of course, with any of these keywords, you can insert auto deletion functionalities. So if you said there were some keywords that you didn't want to be part of the platform altogether, you could remove them and have them silently removed from the network immediately. So this was a quick overview of ViewPoint Enterprise. Hopefully you enjoyed the product and would like to receive a lot more data about us. Looking forward to hear from you. Thank you for joining.